Welcome to Sew Very Easy. My name is Laura, and I'd like to share with you a story about my very first quilt. My first quilting experience was because of the ladies at church. I was about 16, 17 years old, and the ladies at the church were making a quilt. And because they knew I knew how to sew, they thought I'd like to take part in this quilt. And they handed me a little paper bag with the fabric and the handwritten directions in it for me to take home and sew a quilt block for this quilt. And I remember opening this little paper bag, and there was a little piece of fabric, a little bit of batting, and these directions. And I didn't understand the directions. I read them many times over and couldn't make sense of them. So I called my mom for a little bit of help. And between the two of us, we figured out how to make this quilt block. Well, it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be very easy because I was already sewing for clothing and other crafts and hobbies. So I thought quilting would be very easy. So I brought it to church very excited, and the ladies were very excited that I was excited, so they gave me more blocks to go home and sew. So I sewed a lot of blocks for that quilt, and I thought, this is fun. I love quilting. And I loved making these quilt blocks, and I remember the name of the quilt block, and it was called the Cathedral Window. And that experience got me hooked onto quilting. Do you remember your first quilt block and the memory around it? I'd love to hear about it. And thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're talking about next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.